Hello lovely Sagittarians, my name's Gordon and I'm looking at the astrological trends for the week March the 3rd through to March the, forgotten the date now, March the 9th. Now remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you press the red button, that will get you a subscription, which is obviously free, but it means the videos come out on a weekly basis. You get them as soon as they're uploaded, which normally happens on a Saturday or Sunday. Love to get involved. This is an interactive channel, Sagittarius. So you know, you can contact me on the website. You can contact me if you wish on the email. And of course you can also friend me on Facebook as well. So Gordon Robert Spirit Medium, love to have your friendship. Okay, so Sagittarius, bit of an important week all in all, Sagittarius. The first thing really to consider is your full moon. And you know, this week we see a full moon in Virgo. Now this is part of a playlist, remember, so there is another video that is at the top of the playlist which looks at the overall trends for the week. So this is specifically for sun sign and rising sign Sagittarians. Now we have a full moon in Virgo which sits in your 10th house, Sagittarius. Now the thing with Virgo, you know, you can be quite self-critical, even self-effacing as far as ambition is concerned, because you know, you necessarily perhaps see the ambition but necessarily doesn't sit as comfortably with you as it perhaps does with your neighbour Capricorn. But you know, there's a spotlight this month, and the spotlight this month is the full moon. And again, remember that there is another video which is under astrology, astrology learning and sharing, which is another playlist on my channel that will tell you all about moon astrology. So I don't want to go into it too much here. But we reach a full moon, and the full moon is a point where we sit and reflect. Once the full moon has passed, it's a time for getting rid of what is no longer needed and getting ready for the next new moon so that you can build and expand. Now this happens in your 10th house. It's an angular house, so it's quite an important full moon for you. And you may be sitting there necessarily thinking, I don't know if I've achieved really what I wanted to fully achieve at this moment in time, and you will be looking at where you want to go as opposed to where you actually have travelled from. You've also got some quite heavy, you know, heavy influences around you. Saturn is coming into your first house, so this is going to be a time of major change for you over the next, you know, next couple of years. It comes in gently, a bit of retrograde and goes forward again, but it brings a heaviness necessarily to you in general, not necessarily just for this week, but in general, because you start to analyse and start to think very carefully about the future, where you're going to be, where are you actually going. And you know, as we come into this week, we have a lot of positive activity for you, a lot of drive, a lot of passion in your 5th house. Now the 5th house is the house of pleasure. It's the I call it the chocolate house. When I'm trying to explain astrology to people, think of it as a chocolate house. Tell me you don't like chocolate. Think of the chocolate house. It's a place where you like to indulge. But it can be the house of children. It can also be connected to children. It can be connected with gambling. It can be connected with having fun in general. Affairs, relationships, new relationships, business ideas, getting things out, speculation. It's, you know, it's ruled by one of your sisters, Leo. And it's a fun place. It's a place where you want to expand. Now, there's a hell of a lot of energy going on in there at this particular moment in time, Leo. Sagittarius. As you know, Mars and Venus are driving through. And Mars and Venus are quite, you know, they're close to the fire sign's heart. That's in the right place. And this is going to give you quite a brilliant week because it's supported by your 1st house, Saturn, so it's got stability there. So plans that you wanted to make, ideas that you wanted to put into action, brilliant. It should be, you know, you should be reaping some of your ambition, reaping some of the things that you've put out there. It should be coming home to roost. And other things you're going to be looking at and thinking on a bigger scale, maybe I should have done this a little bit better or a little bit worse. So that's immaterial. The other area that's really activated for you, but in slow activation at this particular moment in time, is your ninth house. The ninth house is so, so important. You know, that is your home. You live there really in the ninth house traditionally. And you've got Jupiter moving through there. Now, in your astrology, we see Leo, as we lay out the solar house, we see Leo there. So Leo, you know, represents fun. It represents a form of expansion as it sits up there, because the ninth house is to do with learning. Especially good, you know, if you're involved religions, or involved in this sort of area, involved in connecting with, not so connecting with spirit, but perhaps learning about cards, or anything along those lines, which psychic tools. That's what I would say. Particularly good for psychic tools. Good for psychic expansion at this particular moment in time. It's latent. It's a little bit latent. You know, you need to wait until April for that to fully expand and take off. But if you wish to go into new areas at this moment in time, you're thinking to yourself, I'm dissatisfied with my present position, present work, I need to expand. Fantastic time. And, you know, there is a feeling here that you're going to have some wacky ideas this week. You're going to be thinking off the wall, and people are going to say, you can't do that. Well, what I want to say to them is, you know, ignore them as far as that is concerned. Be careful about overspending, laying out on something that is unnecessary. That does, I do say about that. But the thought of expanding, the thought of putting your new ideas out there into, it could be even writing. Great, you know, this is good for writing on a higher level, communicating, expanding, new ideas coming in, not settling for what you have to this week, and not listening to others trying to box you in, if that makes sense to you, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for getting involved with the channel. Thank you so much for taking time out to you know, listen to the video. Lots of love and light to you. Have a fantastic week, Sagittarius. And as I say, if you haven't subscribed, please press the subscribe button. It'd be great so the videos come out to you. And I really look forward to speaking to you again next week.